Well, good afternoon, everyone, and thank you for joining us. We are going to be talking about the United Networks of America prescription coupon card program this morning. And with us, we have Alexis Lemaire, and she's going to go over the program. And then after that, we're going to answer any questions that you might have. This program is designed today for you, the directors, staff, board members, just to learn a little bit more about the program, what it's all about, what your chamber needs to do to register and sign up for the program, and what you need to do to get this out to your members and start getting folks to use the program. So, Alexis, I'm going to let you take it away.
All right. Good morning, everyone. I'm Alexis Lemaire. I'm at United Networks of America. I've worked with chambers for the better part of a decade. Someone else that you may have worked with was Sarah Gray. She's out on maternity leave, but she's expected to come back sometime in July. So you will be working with one of us. So what we have here is the prescription discount program. We've worked with many chambers for a very long time, and we use this program as a benefit, of course, to add to your benefit packages, but also a form of non-dues revenue. So it is free to use the program. It is free for your members to use the program. It's free for your members and employees to use the program. So it's all HIPAA compliant, and we'll kind of get into the details there. So, and if you for some reason cannot see our presentation here, just give me a wave or give me a drop a chat. But yeah, so going into the details of the program, it is a free resource that you add to your member benefit packages. We always recommend adding it to any print material if something that you guys are still doing. Always adding it to your digital material. And the way that we do this is we take our program, and if you're open to it, we like to put your logo or your brand onto the materials. That way you get recognition, and it's kind of like a free marketing effort there as well. Anyone that uses the program will see that it was a free resource provided by the chamber. So to kind of get into the details of the prescription discount program, again, it's free for everyone. It's kind of like a coupon in the sense that you don't have to register or sign up, or there's no eligibility requirements or anything like that. So it's literally a coupon that can be used by anyone, except it can be used multiple times and it does not expire. So many times coupons, you can use once and you got to throw it away. This is not that. It does not expire. If a member loses their coupon/card or can't find theirs, it goes to a new pharmacy, so they don't have it anymore, they can always go back to the source of the chamber and get a new one. So there is that. It can also be used for pet medications, which a lot of our chambers go crazy for that. So a lot of pet medications are human medications. And if you get those filled at a pharmacy, you can use the discount card on that. I do know that some veterinarians, they do dispense in-house, and obviously we don't work with any particular vets yet. So again, if it's something like an antibiotic, I think seizure medications that is filled at the pharmacy for your pet, you can use the discount card for that. As far as the discounts and what can be expected, anywhere between about a 30% off to up to an 80, even 90% off on some generic medications. Of course, generic medications get better discounts, but that's most of what's prescribed out there is generic medications. However, we do see 25 to 30% off on brand name medications because there are patients that prefer the brand or require the brand versus the generic alternative. So again, discounts on all FDA approved medications that you can fill at a pharmacy. That does vary, so we do recommend using the pricing tool that will be included on the website, and I'll get to that in a little bit when we get into the marketing materials there. So who can use the card? It's a very common question. If I have insurance, can I use the card? So the quick answer is that you cannot use the card on top of insurance. So if you have a $10 copay on azithromycin, it's not going to lower the copay. However, if you have a high deductible plan, sometimes you have to pay 100% of the medication price until you reach that deductible. And if you're anything like me, I have a high deductible plan that I never meet. So I just opt to use the discount card instead of my insurance. paying 100% that goes to the deductible, or paying a discounted rate that does not go to the deductible. Additionally, if you have health savings accounts, sometimes that does not come with pharmaceutical benefits. Sometimes you have really high negotiated rates for certain medications. The one that we get in the call center all the time is going to be inhalers. Those have very high negotiated rates, $250 for an inhaler, where sometimes the discount card will offer a better negotiated rate than your insurance. So on the spectrum of having zero coverage to having really great coverage, the best coverage that money can buy, or even a government insurance, there's going to be non-covered medications. Every year, if you have insurance, you receive a new pamphlet on your insurance, and in that pamphlet, they have the different tiers of medication and even a non-covered drugs list. And that list we monitor from the major insurance providers at the end of every year, and that list grows every single year. There's more and more non-covered procedures, non-covered services, non-covered medications. So a medication you may take every month, all of a sudden in next year, it's not covered anymore. And now you're kind of scrambling, you're sticker shocked a little bit, and you're like, why is this not covered anymore? And they have different rhymes and reasons of why they do that. But so all the way on the scale from having no insurance to the best insurance money can buy, there are holes and gaps in insurance. And that's where we hope to fill the gap there with this prescription discount program. Additionally, if you have members who have employees that maybe don't have prescription benefits, we obviously would love for you to push that down line to them as well, or just open it up to the community and make it available on your website as a free resource from the chamber that anyone can use, because all in all, that's going to increase the utilization, which will increase your revenue stream from this program. So that's kind of the long and short on the card itself. Brand names and generics, all major chain pharmacies, many independent pharmacies. I know a lot of you have independent pharmacies, or even pharmacists from major chains within your membership, or even on your board sometimes. And a lot of times they'll inquire, we're not sure if we accept this program, and you get that information on the pharmacy side, and we look it up on our side. And if a lot of times they are already in network to accept our program, but if they're not, it's a very quick process to get them enrolled. I think it's one sheet from our pharmacy benefit manager, which is the middleman, similar to Express Scripts, which is the common one that a lot of people know. It's that person that negotiates the discounts on our medications for us. So if you have a pharmacist that would like to participate, we have a very short way of getting them into the network. And just reach out to myself or Sarah Gray, and we can get that started for you. But going into see some of these marketing materials at the middle of the page. This is a very short list of materials. So we start everyone out with card images, which you'll see to the left. And this middle section is going to be what the website tool looks like. This tool is crucial and essential to finding success on this program. 10 years ago, we were all about the print material. I think everyone was. We were in everyone's invoice, renewal invoices and member benefit packages and all of that. We had cards and card stands and all the meetings. But I really think digital material, especially after the last couple of years, has become to be the most beneficial piece that we have. So what we do is we provide you with a one sheet, one line of code that our graphics and IT team creates. You add a page to your website, and this page will be designated to the prescription discount card. It looks like what it does in this screen capture in the middle here. It has a medication pricing tool, a pharmacy locator, and this is how members can print, text, save, email the card to themselves, to their employees. This is a link where they can send an email out to their employees and say, hey, here's this prescription discount card available through the chamber. Go ahead and print one for yourself or text one to yourself. Most people just save the image to their camera roll or to their passport thing in iPhones. So that's going to be your biggest and most successful tool to not only answering most of the questions about the program there, but it's going to be available 24/7 to them. Some chambers do put it behind a login screen because they want it to be specifically for their members. We're okay with that. I do encourage it to be public because it does help of course, the free resource for the community, but it helps increase that utilization and revenue stream that you guys are looking for. And then to the right, you have an RX savings flyer is what we call it. We have lots of flyers. We have lots of things you can include in an email blast or however you communicate to your membership. If that's specifically through social media, we can shorten those flyers down to make them social media friendly. We have different ways that they look, different themes. For example, we just had one for Mental Health Awareness Month for May. So we have different ways that look. So it's always fresh material, but we do provide you with these things to start. If you need a specific graphic with certain specifications for an email blast or a e-newsletter or anything for that matter, just send us an email and let us know, and we'll get that created for you pretty quickly, usually within 48 hours. But yes, kind of moving down, our program is HIPAA compliant, kind of pivoting back to there's no registration, no forms to complete, no enrollment process. We do not collect member data at any point. So therefore that we cannot sell member data. And we mention that because there are people in our industry that do that. So we want to make sure that everyone knows we do not do that at any point. You will never have to put in your your mailing address or anything like that. If you put in your email address to email yourself a card, that information is not saved. That's specifically a resource for you guys or your members to have it emailed over. And like I said, most people just save the image to their camera roll. That's the easiest way. Once they take this card to the pharmacy, a discount is applied at point of sale. So they go in either when they drop off the medication. Most times medications are called in these days. So when they go to pick up the prescription, they'll present their card. They'll process it on that end, and all major chains will save that card information to the patient's profile. So if they get it for a dermatology cream one month and they go to refill that cream next month, it'll automatically apply since they used it the last time. So it will stay there until the member changes that or changes location or something like that. But most people stick to a pharmacy. Let's see. And this is really just some information on us as a company. We've been around since the 90s. We started with many different networks with dental and vision and hearing and diabetic savings supplies, but truly what's worked for us and what's come to the forefront of our priority is the prescription discount program. We do the whole grassroots effort where we private label our program for many different organizations. That way, we don't do the whole national branding or marketing as, many of you are familiar with probably GoodRx, the bright yellow and black brand there. They have a different model than us. There's plenty enough non-covered medications in the market for several of us to be in the industry. Literally hundreds of millions of prescriptions get left at the pharmacy usually every year because of sticker shock. People go and they're like, whoa, no, I'm not paying that. I'll go without. People will split pills or ration their medication where they're supposed to take it twice a day, but they only take it once a day. There's lots of issues out there where people are not getting the treatment they need via prescriptions because of the price. So that's kind of our mission here, is to help lower those costs where we can through these different partnerships such as Chambers. But yeah, so that kind of wraps up everything. I'd love to have some questions.
Does anyone have any questions? I know some of you submitted some.
Hi, Alexis, can you hear me?
Yes.
Hi, this is Michelle with the Kent Chamber. How are you?
I'm well, and yourself?
Good, thank you. I just wanted to double check. So if you have insurance, now I understand the underinsured or the uninsured or the underinsured. If you have insurance and you have this card, can you compare the rates between the two? That, maybe if you have a prescription and it's, I don't know, $100 through your insurance, but you can maybe get it at $60 with this. Can you do that and not use your insurance and use this instead?
Absolutely. Great question. So the pharmacy and pharmacy staff is very familiar with looking at multiple options for a patient. So if you do process your insurance and it is jarring, like, wait a minute, let me see if there's a better rate out there, and you use your card, they are very familiar with taking that extra time to compare insurance to manufacturer coupons are also a very popular thing, or something like a prescription discount card. So absolutely, you can compare the two to see which is going to be more affordable. Lots of, face creams, inhalers. There's just a certain prescription weight loss medications. There's a lot of things where insurance is very pricey. Something like a antibiotic that's very common, like azithromycin or amoxicillin. It's a very common, usually very cheap prescription through your insurance. So a lot of times you're going to get the best negotiated rate through your insurance on things like that. But if you have kind of a odd prescription, like I said, the weight loss medication or some type of, prescription vitamins, it's definitely worth checking. Anything that's a little unusual in the price, I would definitely look into all your options.
Thank you very much.
So we have a few questions in the chat, but before I ask this one, how do you, and you may have covered this, I apologize. How does a chamber enroll in the program? What do you need?
Oh, no, I didn't. Thank you. So it's very easy. So we don't really do like a whole enrollment process. I'd love to have conversations to start, just to kind of answer any questions, because there usually are questions. So I'd love to have a very small chat to start the process. And then once we kind of hammer out any questions, what we do is we take a W-9 form. We need a completed W-9 with your current mailing address and all of that on file. That's so we can pay you the non-dues revenue stream, which is $1.25 per transaction. So someone goes to the pharmacy and they have 3 medications that are not covered by insurance. You're going to get $1.25 for each medication, because it's a separate transaction for each one. And that comes that report comes about 60 days after the transaction. So stick with me. There's a 60-day lag time in utilization because of just kind of the way that the pharmacies work with pushing prescriptions into insurance and then backing them out. So reporting takes about 60 days. So if we got you guys launched, let's say June 1st, because that's tomorrow, we got you launched, you put it on your website, you've got it pushed out to your members are aware of it, and they start using it in June, it would be August before you saw June's utilization, and then you would see it every month after that. And it's just because of the reporting on the back end that gets kind of tied up and takes a while. So that's an excellent question. So we take a W-9, and if you want to brand the materials with your logo, we take a high resolution logo, and our graphics team will customize a sample package of material to get you started, including that website tool, the card image, as well as a flyer, another little graphic if you want it to have what we call a button on your website, which is basically a graphic that you put, let's say, on your home page, and it leads you to that main page on the program. So we can do that. We do not have to. There was a chamber, I think, recently that just opted out. They didn't want to use the logo, and that's totally fine with us. So we're good either way. Additionally, I usually ask for the contact information of whoever's implementing the program if it's not the person I've already talked to. And that's just because we like to kind of help guide them through that process of launching the materials on the website, which are very easy. But I know some chambers outsource for that, and we just want to kind of make sure that they've got all the support they need to get the program launched out. And that's it. That's it. So a completed W-9, a high resolution logo, and the contact of whoever is going to be implementing or managing the program. But yeah, thanks for asking, because I went right by that.
Okay, no. So, and then correct me if I'm wrong. When you'll receive those reports of utilization, that type of thing, disbursement to the chambers happens once that threshold hits $20. Is that
That's correct?
Okay.
Yes.
I just want
So
to
once the threshold hits 20, you get an email report for that on your group number. So the utilization, how we track utilization is a group number. And let's see if I can go back here. If you look on this card image, and it's kind of small, but right in the middle, there's an RxGRP. It's actually not a number, it's letters. Once upon a time, it was numbers, but now it's letters. And we designate this code to your chamber specifically. So once we get you enrolled in the program with your W-9 and high resolution logo, we designate one of these codes to your program. That code is put in at the pharmacy. And then that utilization goes through the reporting process, and then we're able to spit out a report to you guys digitally on that side. So that's how we're able to track your utilization and pay out accordingly, is through that RxGRP number. The other processing information there, the BIN number, that's tied to our network of discounts. And then there's a member ID, and that's just so that the software on the pharmacy side processes and ties it to a patient profile.
Perfect. So what would you say is the best way to introduce this to members of a chamber? What's the best way to roll this out to members?
So adding the website tool is going to be first and foremost, because most of the time when we need information, we go to a website and dig around before we start hitting contact us forms. So put it there. Any communications that you have, if you do a weekly or monthly e-newsletter, I would designate a spot for the first few months. Not everyone looks at every single newsletter that comes out, so it might take a few times before they realize, oh, what is this? So I'd put a very small designated piece in your newsletter with maybe your card image, or I could provide you with an image. If you're not really sure what to write in there, I can provide you with a little passage for that too, and you would include a link to the website portion, the website tool. Additionally, if you use social media regularly, I would put the flyer up there, or like I said, I can get you a specific graphic if you want it to be a little bit smaller, and then put it in circulation for a few months. Sometimes it takes three attempts before they even see it once, and it might take 3 more attempts before they actually read it. A lot of times these things kind of go right by their eyes. So I'd put it as a staple in your communications for the first three months or longer. And then after that, included in a rotation, every so often. I know you guys have other things you have to promote and highlight. So just don't forget to put it in rotation in front of your members' eyes. That way, we do send you guys a complimentary set of 1,000 cards to start. If you guys are back into meetings and you want to provide those cards out that way, or print some of your flyers in house to get the message out that way, whatever you're doing currently to communicate to your members and let them know what's going on, try to implement it. And if you're not sure how, reach out to me and I'll help you kind of narrow down what that looks like. We don't want to create too much work on you guys. We try to be pretty effortless as far as implementation. We try to do most of the work on our end. So you just kind of have to copy and paste over or just kind of drop a file in. So of course we want to be that support for you from not just the launch, but as long as you guys have the program for your membership.
Love it. Can the chamber leader or a volunteer take these cards to participating pharmacies to have them available for folks that don't have insurance, that they could just give them that card right there?
So the cards, and that's going to be kind of up to if you have a relationship with a pharmacy. So I understand if you have a pharmacy on your board or in your membership that says, yeah, we'll put these in our pharmacies, but most of the time pharmacies do not like cards, any type of cards in their pharmacies. There are one-off chances. Like I said, if you know someone personally and they're okay with that, that's totally fine. But I wouldn't distribute to the masses. They don't particularly love that.
Got it.
However,
practices,
medical practices, urgent cares, doctors, if any of that's in your membership, ask them if you can put cards in there. They're very open to it. The doctor's offices and, like I said, urgent cares and practices, they're very open to including that resource in their practice.
I like that. What about like senior living communities, community center, that type of place?
Absolutely.
Okay. How would you say the rates compare to, say, like a GoodRx or a similar type of scenario?
So we do some in-house reconnaissance on that, and it's like a 50-50. It's almost as if they get discounts on a certain set of medications, and then we get discounts on the other the other half of the medications. So it's about 50-50 when it comes to the discounts. And like I said, I think at first when GoodRx came in the market, we were like, whoa, what is this? How is this happening? And, do we have market share? But since they've been in for several years now, and we've kind of watched what they do as far as their pricing goes, they are a good option. But you'll see we get discounts on different medications than they do. So, but it's comparable. The discounts are comparable.
So how do you know if a pharmacy actually is on the list of participating pharmacies?
So the easiest way is going to be through the pharmacy locator tool. That's going to have majority of them. It's not going to have all of them. It kind of depends on if the pharmacy wants to include their information on the portal. And then secondary, we have the internal database where we can look it up. from our side to see if someone's already enrolled. And again, if they're not, it's a pretty simple process to start accepting those discounts.
Got it. Okay. And when a pharmacy has that code, what do they need to do? If they're, say, just a local pharmacy, they have a card that's presented to them and they're not sure if they're on the list, what do they need to do?
The processing information, so the group number and BIN number is pretty standard as far as accessing discounts on medications, whether that's with a prescription discount card or insurance or anything for that matter. So they should be able to look up that BIN number 610709, and I believe that will kind of answer that question for them. And software on the pharmacy side kind of looks different all over. And if I'm being honest, I've never actually been on the back side of that. So from what I understand, if they put in that BIN number 610709, it should either show that they have access to the network or not.
Okay. Yeah. So I have the question, can you recruit a local pharmacy to join? We have a local pharmacy that is locally, or we have a pharmacy that is locally owned.
Yes, if they're interested in accepting the card, we can absolutely get them it's a form, I want to say it's 1, maybe 2 pages from our PBM, and they just fill that out with their information, and then we send it over, and then they become part of the network. I don't know too much past that because that is a whole separate field from what I specialize in.
And Alexis, give me your email address if you would.
Yes, Alexis, ALEXIS. At United Networks with a S of America.com. And I have it here.
Oh, perfect.
On this first page.
Somebody had asked where to send the W-9. Send W-9 and chamber logo to anyone else have any questions?
Cindy, I do.
Yeah.
How long, if we send in the W-9 and our chamber logo, how long till we could actually start using the program?
Good question. So typically our graphics has about a 48-hour turnaround time. So once I get the information from you guys, I start the process immediately. And get the ball rolling. A file is created and they start creating the graphics for you. And once those graphics come back, I kind of once over them and then I send them over to you to once over as well. Once I have your approval, I'll usually ask something along the lines of, can you verify the email I have is the correct mailing address so we can send the cards. Cards take somewhere around 2 weeks to print and ship altogether. But as soon as you get the graphics for the website and the digital materials, you can implement right away. So as little as 48 hours, sometimes they're quicker, sometimes there might be a day delay, but let's say 48 hours to be safe.
On your website, are we able to look up a particular drug and see what the savings would be, the cost would be?
Yes, so it's probably going to be easier to go to, is it on your website, Cindy?
Yeah.
Okay, so if you want to in advance look at medication pricing, I would go to the Northern Ohio Area Chamber's website and kind of look at their prescription discount tool. It's going to be very similar to yours, pretty much identical minus the group number, and the logo is going to be different. But if you want to look at pricing there, you can do that in advance. Once you are set up and we provide you with all of the digital materials, you will also have a widget, if you will, or website tool that you can add to your website, which will give you the medication pricing tool and pharmacy locating tool.
Okay, and I think you covered it, but so for everyone that uses this, their prescription, $1.25 of that comes back to the chamber?
Yes.
Is that correct?
Yes.
And then Alexis, do you pay the chamber directly or do you pay NOAC and we disperse it?
We pay you directly.
You pay the chamber directly.
Yes, which is why we do the W-9, and it is a paper check, so we're not going to ask for account information or routing information. We will send a paper check to you guys at that mailing address on the W-9.
Okay.
Great questions, everyone. Any other questions while we have Alexis? Well, I think we are good. I really appreciate everyone's time this morning. We did record this, so we will send this out. I did put in the chat if you want to send your W-9 and your chamber logo to Alexis. Let her know that you are a NOAC chamber. Your code will be a little bit different, so that way we can code that correctly. And then you will receive your code. You can go to noac.org and check out the code that, what happens when you put the code in, it automatically populates everything. It is very, very easy. It took me about 5 minutes to get it set up on the website. So it was very easy to do. And we can certainly help with that as well. So we want to thank you so much, Alexis, for your time.